Hello, 7th graders. All right, we've been working hard to make sure we learn character and plot and theme, and today we're going to read one of our last stories before our quiz on character, plot, and theme. Take a look at our standards here on the screen. We are working on determining elements of a narrative. That goes with character and plot, right? And analyzing those characters in a narrative. Also that we can understand stories better and how authors use stories. Today we are going to start reading a story called Three Skeleton Key. I will tell you it's kind of a spooky story and it's higher level, so I thought I'd give you some background information. First, our story is set not in Draper, but in French Guiana. So if I go here and type in that country of French Guiana, you will see that it's not in North America. It's actually in South America. It's called French Guiana because it was colonized by France. Now you can see that this country is in South America and it's a coastal country. Now our story is fiction. It didn't really happen, and the specific island that our story is set in is not a real place, but it is based off of a real place, French Guiana. Now if I zoom in, you will see there is a city called Cayenne. And now there's also a city called Cayenne in the country of France, right? And they also named this one Cayenne. I'm probably saying it wrong. You can see that in the actual place off the coast of Cayenne, there are some actual islands. But in our story today, it takes place in an island that isn't really real. Our island in our story is called Three Skeleton Key. If you've ever heard of the Florida Keys, then you know that sometimes the word key means island, right? So it also could be called Three Skeleton Island, but here they call it Three Skeleton Key. Now, if I were to type in Three Skeleton Key in Google Earth, I wouldn't find any answers, right? Because it's not a real place. But you can kind of picture it fictionally, right? Off this coast. So in the ocean here, in the Atlantic Ocean, off the coast of South America, off the coast of French Guiana. Our story is going to take place in a lighthouse. I don't know if you've seen a lighthouse before. In Utah, we sure don't have a lot of lighthouses, right? I don't think we have any. But if you were to live somewhere where there's a larger body of water, you would need a lighthouse to warn ships not to come close to things like reefs or rocks or the shore. At nighttime, when it's super dark, a ship can't see where it's going, right? So back in time before there was sonar and radar and GPS and things like that, ships would need lighthouses, and they still need lighthouses today to make sure they're not going where they're not supposed to go. So a lighthouse is like a warning. When a ship would see that light of the lighthouse, they would know to stay away. And the lighthouse in our story kind of looks like this. It's not an island with tropical trees. It's not an island that has houses on it or things like that. It's just an island with a lighthouse, and they're going to say in the story that all around the ocean water around this lighthouse, there's a reef so that if a ship was going to get close, it would crash. Our story is going to mention a few things that you might be familiar with. It's going to mention the Flying Dutchman. You might remember this from the movie Pirates of the Caribbean or from SpongeBob SquarePants, right? But the Flying Dutchman is a common mythical legend about this ghost ship that would be in the ocean that some people say that maybe they have seen. They're going to talk about that in a bit in our story. Today we're going to read the first part of our story and talk about it. That's the next video that you should watch today. And tomorrow we will watch the second half and finish up the second half. If you were at home today, you should definitely watch the next video. Make sure you understand the first part of the story because one, you'll need it to understand the second part of the story tomorrow when hopefully you will return to class, but you'll also need to understand this story for our quiz this week. So make sure you watch that video and listen carefully as we read. Enjoy!